Hey guys, James from SIKKY Manufacturing. Super excited to introduce our next turnkey build, this 2012 FRS, where we're going to be shoehorning a big old LS V8 into this thing and R&D and developing all the parts from start to finish. This is a new chassis for us. We've built some parts here and there for it, but as far as ground up, we're going to be doing all the R&D. I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek into some of the behind the scenes of how we develop kits and all the technology we use that makes our kits have perfect OEM fitment. So this build has some unique challenges that are a little different than most of the other chassis that we make kits for. Obviously it's got plenty of room width-wise because of the boxer engine, but it's a very short engine compartment. We're not exactly first to market with this LS kit, but we've been watching what's going on with it out there, and we do know that a lot of people require you to modify this core support brace here and literally cut it out due to the engine position is too far forward. You know, from a handling aspect and just the overall characteristics of this car, if you want to think of it like a performance vehicle, we want the engine as far back as possible. So that's one thing, one design element we're going to be putting in place with our particular kit to make an improvement over what's currently on the market and a better weight distribution front to rear. So our kit so far, with the CAD work we've been doing and scanning everything in, is going to position the engine as far back as possible to the point where we won't have to make any modifications to this. And that's the plan. I mean, obviously till it's all said and done, we won't know if that's going to be possible, but that's what we're shooting for. So we started off with this project by using our ferro arm and literally scanning the complete car in and making a 3D model of an FRS down to a CAD drawing of the front subframe, the steering rack, control arms, frame rails, even each little component that's in this engine compartment to build the mount kit in 3D, which is typically the way we like to do it, because then we can analyze all the information we have and literally place the engine perfectly in line, adjust pinion angle and all the important stuff like drive shaft angles, just to make sure everything's perfect from the get-go. And once we design, we start to build prototypes and actually physically test fit it. So this particular car, we've done the scans, built the 3D model of the chassis, and we're partially through the design phase at this point. So we're gonna show you some footage of that and see what it looks like in that stage, and then move on to the next step, which is producing the parts in the CNC machine. All right, so another challenge we're going to have with this far back engine placement, basically getting it close to the firewall, is this clutch master cylinder and the heater core lines, as well as this is the AC block, where we're going to have to machine an adapter to come out of there at a 90-degree angle, and we're going to attempt to make an AC system kit for this. But you can see we've already cut these lines short to get a little extra clearance, and probably gonna end up running something like a real tight 90 just to get those up and out of the way early, because literally the back of the intake manifold is right there, so there's not much room at all. And this is gonna be a problem with the driver's side cylinder head, so we're gonna develop a master cylinder setup for it, something that's low profile and gets the job done with the proper size for the average T56 or 6060 clutch slave cylinder. Header clearance looks like it's going to be pretty good. Like I said, there is a lot of room width-wise in this chassis, so we're not going to have to get extremely creative with the header routing, but it's still going to be a tight fit. Another goal for us with this swap is to utilize the factory FRS BRZ CAN bus system, meaning we're going to have the LS ECU operate the factory gauge cluster and give it the right information, so all the factory gauges will function and work as normal, including the factory electronic power steering, which is key for us because it's awesome to be able to eliminate the power steering pump off the LS. It's a weight savings, one less thing to have a leak with down the road. So it simplifies the swap a lot. So we're really focused on having a functioning CAN bus electronic setup with this thing when it's all said and done, so you can drive it and functions like a regular FRS BRZ with a whole hell of a lot more horsepower and torque. So we've already selected the drivetrain that we're going to use in this swap. We're going to use a 2012 LS3 that we've done some cylinder head upgrades, cam upgrade, and it's got basically the top ends worked over, ready to go. So It's going to make really good power right out of the gate, which is why we decided to put a T56 Magnum behind it. It's just a stronger transmission than the regular T56 and shouldn't be a problem down the road as far as handling the power that this LS is going to produce. Going further back the vehicle, we also plan on putting in our SIKKY quick change Winners differential setup and subframe, so we're going to show you some development on that as well, top to bottom design and building the parts. So it should be interesting to see this all come together. A lot of new parts are going to come out of this development, so we're excited to get this thing underway. I know this first episode's a little bit light on the actual wrenching content on this build, but we're bringing you guys in on this one just a little bit into it. So we already pulled the factory motor and stuff out of it, but we are going to be doing a lot more in the coming episodes, so make sure you subscribe, like, and hit the bell so you get notifications when we add new episodes to this build series.